Hello, hello, hello. My name is Chris Rice, and today is July 29th, and I hope you, people of this lovely, lovely, lovely group, are having a wonderful, wonderful evening so far, especially to you mothers and you caretakers and you fathers as well. I make sure I don't forget y'all. Your uncles, aunts, and stuff like that that help take care of our children. I sincerely appreciate that. And today, my son name is Peyton. He is also autistic. He's 10 years old. He's awesome though, just like all your children are as well. But today I want to speak about something that most people may not want to talk about, which is what are some of the fears that we have as parents of autistic children that we don't really get to speak on a lot, because I'm pretty sure that just like y'all, there's very few people that I can talk to about this because there's very few people that understand. So, of course, I definitely love talking to you guys, and getting your feedback. And yeah, this group really makes it a lot easier to cope with certain things. But, just a few fears that I have is as my son approaches adulthood, how will he be treated? Will he be treated, the way that I want him to be treated? And, one of the things with me about that is I've had to learn how to tone down my, aggression towards people that may not understand, and, take their time to, educate them if they're willing to listen. And because I found myself in situations that, it worked out in my favor because the person was willing to listen, but it could have got bad really, really, really fast. Because, as just like you do, I don't play about my children. I do not play about my children at all. Especially Peyton. I do not play about my children. And another fear that I have is when he's at school, are people treating him right? And unfortunate as it is, all of our children are not raised the same. We don't all, everybody doesn't teach their children to say yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. I was always taught that you don't disrespect kids with, special needs. Just like you don't disrespect elderly people, or you don't disrespect handicapped people. I've always been taught that. And I don't know exactly where I learned it from, or maybe it's just something that I knew on my own. I don't know. But either way it went, I never did that. And I know some people that did, and that stuff hurts. Like I think about that sometimes, and maybe I overthink things, but I think about that sometimes. Like man, what do people at school, do they talk about my son? And me being his father, I'm a tough guy. I'm a tough guy. I can hold my own. But that makes it hurt even more because this is something that I can help him. I can make sure that he know that he's loved and he's cared for, and he has a great mother. She makes sure that he knows that, and I also make sure that he knows that. His brother and sister, they spend time with him. They play with him and this and that. But when he steps out of this house, it's out of my control. I can't ride with him on his school bus every day. I can't ride back with him on his school bus every day. I can't sit in his classroom. I don't, I like to think that I can trust his teachers. I like to think that. So, and that's pretty much as far as my mind goes on that. But as far as like other children, do they pick at him and stuff like that? And I don't really know. So maybe I'm just, aggravating myself. I don't know, but I like to stay on top of things. And I like to stay on point. So I pay very close attention to my son. I watch the way he walks. I watch it the way he eats. I watch it the way he laughs. I watch everything about him. Because if anything changes then I need to know right then and there what it is that I need to do. And I need to make sure that I'm paying attention. So, on that right there, all I can do is just wonder and hope that it's not happening. And, Lord forbid somebody try to bully my son, because that right there, that's a no-go. That ain't gonna work, and that just, I ain't even gonna get into that because that's not what this video is for. But, any parents out there, where I'm going with that. But, even before adulthood, as he approaches teenage years, is his aggression going to change? How is puberty going to affect him? The thing is, this is how I explain to people what autism is. My other children, Jonathan and Christina, they don't go in the street because I tell them not to go in the street. But they also know that if they get hit by a car, it's going to hurt. They know that you do not jump in front of cars. Peyton doesn't go in the street because I tell him not to go in the street. He doesn't understand the second part of it. And I want to instill so much knowledge at a slower pace for Peyton that he knows this stuff like the back of his hand. Now, one of the cool things about autism is they have the ability to center in on certain senses. Their hearing is better than ours. They can see further. They taste stuff different than the normal person, as people call it. But excuse me, I'm having a hard time doing this video without letting emotions get involved. So I'm trying to stay, on a fine line here. But I just want, this is what I want. I want us as parents, as a community, as a family to learn as much as we can, educate each other as much as we can. There are things that you know that I don't know. There may be things that I know that you don't know. This is not the time for us to sit back on our hands and want someone to fail at being a parent, being an effective parent for a child with special needs. This is something that we all have to do together. We have to do this together. And I want us to succeed at this. And I read the posts. I spend 10, 15 minutes at a time going down the timeline reading the posts. And I see some that they're heart-wrenching. I see some of the effects and stuff like that. And, some of the little quirks that some of these, some of our children do. And it bothers me. I'm not going to lie, it bothers me. Every time I turn on the news or I see a child that is drowned, I feel for the parents. I feel for the child. I feel for them parents. Because if y'all anything like me, or if I'm anything like y'all, we fight tooth and nail for our children, whether they're special needs or not. So, that's just a couple of my biggest fears. And I'll do another video with a couple more of them. But I just want I want our children to have a fair chance. That's what I want. That's all I want is for them to have as fair of a chance as they can get without ignorance being something that interfered with it. Because, it's our job to educate other people. And I don't have a problem educating other people. But, I want these people to educate their children as well. Because just because a child has special needs don't mean they're stupid, because they're not stupid. They're not stupid at all. I know your children are not stupid. I know my child is not stupid. And I don't want them to be treated that way. And if I can do anything about it, they won't be treated that way. But to you mothers, I love y'all. To you fathers, I love you. Your grandparents, I love y'all. And I really, truly hope that Christ is satisfied with the message that I made today. And thank y'all very much. I love y'all very much.